Hey, it's Brett and Coach here today in Edgewater to check out Beard and Belly Restaurant, and we enter actually through Honey Pie Bakery. So let's take a quick sneak peek at dessert for later, but we head to our table and make sure you stay tuned to see what made me say this. I also find it super ironic that I said, oh, I don't give out 10 out of 10 for foods. There's no such thing as perfection. I think it also goes without saying 10 out of 10. So we made it in, got seated. I did expect it busier. We had no wait. We are here on a Sunday, on a holiday weekend, just because it is St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Obviously, we had to grab a beer first. This is the Boont Amber Ale from California. A nice sweetness to it, not overly powerful either way. It goes down really smooth, nice amber flavor. I actually really enjoy it. I'd probably give it a 7.5. Now let's take a sip of Brian's White Light Wit Beer from Middlebrow, which is based here in Chicago. It says it'll have taste of banana and cloves. Not sure how that combination will translate. Very sweet aroma. Whoa, that's interesting. The cloves does come through really well. I don't necessarily get banana, but this is really surprising. I would probably give this an 8. That's really impressive. Maybe I need to go back to Middlebrow one of these days. The two owners, one nicknamed The Beard, the other The Belly, are now the owner-operators for one, and then the other is the head chef, still very hands-on in the business. They teamed up with Honey Pie Bakery, which was on Milwaukee Ave, to actually open a brick-and-mortar store here in Edgewater. So before we dive into actually ordering, let me tell you the story of Beard and Belly. The original concept was started in 2015 as a pop-up at the Long Room, which is another bar on the north side. It is rumored to be the best bar on the north side. I personally have never checked that out, but might be another video coming up. That pop-up at the Long Room did extremely well with the locals and the regulars that they decided to actually take the next steps to becoming an actual set-up, own brick-and-mortar restaurant. They got final permission from the city to open beginning of March 2020. You can kind of see where this is going. That following Saturday, once they got permission on Tuesday, the Chicago lockdown was put into place, so they couldn't really open their doors except for having everything to go. But don't worry, they made do, pivoted, did to go only, and very quickly became a local favorite and a local hub for community. And they must be doing something right here because they've won plenty of awards, including Best Grilled Cheese in Chicago, one of the best 38 restaurants that you must check out in Chicago, as well as many top 10 lists on The Eater and Time Out. So that was just a quick rundown of their history from going from an idea and now being a bustling gastropub. But now let's actually dive into this food menu and actually figure out what I want for dinner. Everything sounds pretty good that I've read so far, so it'll be a difficult choice. And we are here for dinner, but Beard and Belly does offer brunch, which we've been here before for, and that was really good too. So any time of day you can stop in and get a good meal and a good couple of drinks. For their draft list, they do like to feature a lot of local breweries just because it fosters that community, but they do have others outside of Illinois too. And if you know anything about me, you know that I love going to Beguile, and that is the brewery of the month for March. I really do appreciate how social justice conscious Beard and Belly is, between the ending racism signs, the BLM signs, and actually having a beer on tap that benefits and promotes women, non-binary, and trans people within the brewing community. Those things are so important right now in this political climate that it's really good to see a male, straight, dominated field actually having places that are giving platform and voices to people that aren't necessarily heard. Big points for Beard and Belly for actually taking a stance and actually wanting to give people just basic human rights. So to look into the menu, they have burgers on the front, But if that's not what you're feeling, they have other sandwiches and a few other options, and always desserts on the menu too, as well as a bunch of different specials on a bunch of different days, and even more specials with monthly options and seasonal stuff too. So in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day, I went for the burger of the month, glanced at the winter cocktail list, but ultimately decided on beer. Also, a quick shout out to our waitress. She walked up after I was done filming a clip and asked about everything, and I will definitely tag them on Instagram for this video, as well as links to their socials, as well as their website down below. But she is so friendly and nice, so helpful, and just really fun to be bantering with. So shout out to her. Unfortunately, I didn't remember her name, but 10 out of 10. So let's dive into these beers and our food. This is the burger of the month, Pot O' Gold. Looks delicious. And this is everything that is on it. And Brian grabbed Chili Mac. He loves his pasta. So let's jump into this Vibes from the Midwest from Salomo. They do have a tap room over in like Wicker area, sort of. Very hoppy smell to it, which I'm mildly surprised, especially when it comes to a Pils. But I love the social action associated with this beer from the idea with Phase 3. So that itself is a 10 out of 10, but let's rate the beer. It's on the bitter side, pretty hoppy for a Pils, I would say. Crisp and snappy, 7 out of 10. Quick addition, it is a West Coast Pils. And this is Sullivan's Black Marble Stout, which says it's a very dry stout, perfect for St. Patrick's Day weekend. Very coffee forward. A lot of roasty coffee notes. It's a little bit thinner than I would have liked, but I think it's still really good. I'd probably give this a 6.5. Let's actually dive into my food, except for a couple fries that I've already had, which solid 8 out of 10. Brian is giving me a bite of his Chili Mac, which is actually before even me biting into my burger. Has a really good spice blend to it. Not overly cheesy, not overly chili focused. I think it's the perfect blend of both. Has a little heat that builds towards the end, but it's more for flavor versus hot Scoville unitness. But let's finally get into this burger. So let's take my big first bite and look at a cross section, which is beautifully cooked. When it comes to food, I will eat almost anything. There is very rarely a food that I do not like. This burger is probably the best burger in a long time that I've had. 9.5, 9.8. I don't think anything really deserves a 10 out of 10, but this is the closest thing I've gotten to a 10 out of 10 in recent times. Fries, I love the seasoning on them. They're well cooked. I appreciate that they actually do have the skin still on them, showing that they are fresh cut. Beard and Belly knows what they're doing when it comes to food. I am still on the burger train. A couple more bites in. Wow. At first I wasn't super sure because I'm not a big whole portobello mushroom person on burgers. I think is a little bit too much, but this has fully switched my opinion on that. Savory, well cooked, good grill flavor. The beer cheese from Dovetail's Helles is the perfect amount, great creaminess, and then the onion comes through as well. The garlic aioli that they make in-house rounds it out perfectly. The bun isn't just some rando cheap bun. It feels bakery made. I'm a little bummed that it's the burger of the month, so it won't be here probably the next time I'll be here. If that's my complaint, they know what they're doing. And I think it's safe to say that Brian enjoyed his food. I would say dinner was a success. So full on food. Gotta get through beer, probably another drink, and then pie. So let's start off with Brian's drink, which is the Andex Doppelbock. Has a very good classic Doppelbock smell to it. A good balance of that rich, dark ale flavors, but still light, fruity. I really enjoy this too. I'd probably give this a 7. But what I got is from Eris, which is based in Chicago, which is called Vibes from the Orchard, which this is in collaboration with Solemn Oath Brewery for the Vibes Beer Project that I talked about earlier, giving voices to people in beer that normally don't have them. So without further ado, whoa, very good classic cider. Definitely can taste those different fruit notes in it. I think it said in the description, cherry and stone fruits. Nicely sweet without being too sickly. I'd probably give this a 7 as well. All the beers I tried, I actually really enjoyed tonight. But now the big event and what I've been looking forward to all night, the dessert list. I think we have to go with the Black Bottom Banana because the baker of Honey Pie entered it in some form of contest and it took 4th overall in the US. So if it can take 4th out of every single pie, feels like the obvious choice. And the pie quickly came to our table and Brian got the honors of getting the first bite. Great first impression as well.
That is lovely. Sweet, creamy, banana's lovely. I think there's something chocolate in the bottom, like a nougat. It's delicious.
So it's now my turn. Brian really hyped up this for me. Between the pie, the burger, the beer, the fries, home run. Delicious chocolatey. I love the cream of it. Nice banana flavor, not too sugary. I understand why it won the awards it has. I don't think you can make a better pie. At this point, that's just rude to all other pies. There's no other way of putting it. You can say your grandma's or aunt's or whoever's pie is better. No, you're just wrong. There's nothing else to it.
I agree with Brett. This pie is probably one of the best pies I've ever had. We gotta try some more pies again soon. This is outstanding.
And lucky for us, you are able to just come to the bakery itself because you enter through it to get to actual Beard and Belly's tap room restaurant. And you can stop in or pre-order whole pies. And I can already say, well worth it. I would almost prefer get one of these pies instead of like a birthday cake. Really treat yourself. My biggest issue with most pies is that I find the crust a little too thick and almost a little too bready. This does not have that issue in the slightest. It's well baked to start off with. It's the perfect crumb, the perfect thickness that it's still holding weight of the pie, but it's not overly powerful or overly cracker-like. I'm the person that will skip pie crust if I have to. Not this case. We will basically be licking this plate clean. And the handful of banana chips on top adds the perfect little crunch every couple bites. I think it's safe to say we enjoyed the pie. I think it also goes without saying 10 out of 10. I also find it super ironic that I said, oh, I don't give out 10 out of 10 for foods. There's no such thing as perfection. That pie humbled me quick. It's so fun being able to banter with the staff, especially about the pie. How I said it's basically unfair to every other pie. And the waitress is like, well, I can get you another slice. And it's like, as much as I could absolutely devour another one, I just want it to be just that. I don't want any 0.5% chance of ruining anything with that pie, even though I know for a fact that second slice would be delicious. To even remotely run the risk of too much of a good thing, so we'll just have to come back. But with having half of my last drink and pie being done, I think this is where I'm going to wrap up the video here at Beard and Belly. I couldn't have asked for a better dinner experience tonight. No notes, absolutely no notes. From the staff, to the food, to the beer, to the atmosphere, and their just story. I definitely recommend coming here to Edgewater. Honestly, just to come here really is a highlight of the neighborhood. Here is full transparency on what we paid for everything. Honestly, they could have charged triple for that pie and I still probably would get it next time. $8.50 for that slice. Lost for words for this pie. I'm gonna be dreaming about this pie. I'm going to be asking for it instead of birthday cake. But if you enjoyed this video, like it, comment down below what your favorite type of pie is. And as always, hit subscribe to support the channel, and I will see you next time in Coach.